So we have some other fights as well. June 7th, we obviously got De Los Santos versus Keyshawn Davis. A lot of people are really getting excited for that as well. Keyshawn Davis had a lot to say about Ryan Garcia's performance as well. He said that, he would beat every single person in that card. And also Jay Prince said the same thing about Shakur Stevenson. What do you think?
I believe Keyshawn would beat everybody that fought last night.
Yeah.
The way they fought, Keyshawn would have beat every one of them.
Mm.
I agree. Now, if Shakur would have fought, he'd outboxed them all last night as well.
Hmm.
Mhm. I don't think he would have stopped them, but he would have outboxed them clean. They look like old ass German shepherds still trying to hop the fence. Their back legs went out on them. That's
Oh
what they
my
look.
goodness
That's
gracious.
what they looked like last night.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Retired canine dogs and shit.
You said retired canine dogs. Shit. Um, so and then obviously we got to see William Cepeda face off with Shakur Stevenson. You seem like they just was ready to promote their next
Yeah,
event.
Shakur,
Which
Shakur gonna outbox him, man.
yeah.
He gonna outbox him.
Looking at the amount of people that were there and stuff like that, how much money do you feel like they lost, and do you feel like that will ever happen again?
Was it 1,000 people?
Hell no,
More like 500, maybe.
if that.
I don't think it'll happen again unless they like blowing money. You know what I'm saying?
It took. Do you feel like it took away? Because when you looked at the layout, that the people that were on the streets, they weren't on the main street, so they would have to been really far. So they're looking at the jumbotron regardless.
They
Uh,
should have they should have took the barriers down and just let everybody crowd standing room only. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they do the holiday parades on Times Square. That's what they should have did.
Mhm. Mhm.
It would have been more audience there. You know.
Yeah, they would have been. Now, like you said, you favor Shakur Stevenson on that July 12th card. Obviously, on the card as well, they have Suber Matias versus Puerto Puello, the guy that beat Antoine. What do you think about that matchup per se?
I'm going with Matias stopping him.
Yeah, you like that? You like that stoppage, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you see?
Just the pressure from Matias breaking him.
Yeah,
You know, breaking him.
breaking them down.
Yeah. Just like the guy was putting pressure on Haney last night, but he didn't know what to do once he caught up to Haney. But Matias know what to do.
Mm,
You know that type of pressure, but let the hands go when you catch up with him.
yeah, it seems like a good stylistic matchup for
Yeah,
both of those guys.
yeah.
Do you see Teofimo Lopez mixing it up with those guys?
Nah, he won boots. He ain't gonna risk nothing. If he gonna lose, he gonna lose the boots.
So
If
that's what
he,
you think. You feel like a lot of these guys are going out there taking the toughest task for that payday.
they're not risking nothing unless it's against the biggest payday. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So they're
yeah.
gonna bullshit until they can get their biggest payday, and that's boots at 147.
So what's your thoughts on the fight that just happened out there in the UK? Conor Ben and Chris Eubank.
I knew that he was just too fucking big, man. Better boxer. He was strong, man. Ben was just winging shots. You know that shit ain't gonna fly. You in there with a fucking champion. You know
Hmm.
he's strong, but he need to learn how to box and place the shots. He was jumping in with hooks and shit. You know that goddamn Eubanks was just too big and too strong for him.
That jab, right?
That,
Offsetted him
that
so many
job,
times.
that jab. I tell the fighters in the gym, that jab makes a difference, man. You know
Yeah.
that should have opened the door to success.
What I did get out of it though is that he did admit that he underestimated, all the experience that Chris Eubank has.
and his size too.
Big time.
Yeah,
Do you feel like he shouldn't take those matches up like that, going up in the weight classes
I
like that?
think he
Like it
should
will
go down.
ruin his career.
Yeah, he should go back down to 47 and just jump in the mix with the welterweights.
Just test yourself with the best.
Yep. Or 54 if he can't get back down to 47.
Hmm.
54.
Uh, Now, as far as Turkey's concerned, he got this fight coming with Canelo Alvarez tonight, Inoue tomorrow. Do you feel like this is dope that you have boxing, so many fights happening all in one week, or do you like it more spread out?
The fights this weekend, I'm glad it was all together to get that shit out the way. Because we had
Because the first, because you didn't want to waste a
if
weekend,
we had one this week and then next week and next month, oh shit.
you would have
Hell,
been mad.
I bust my goddamn TV screen, man. I'm so glad all of them fought. They out the way. God dang.
mm,
And I'm not watching Canelo tonight. That's some bullshit. I'm not watching that shit.
nah, that,
Canelo gonna knock him out like he's supposed to.
that dude's big though, huh?
Yeah, but
He could box a little too. He got a little head movement. He can.
no, I ain't watching that shit. They might get me once. They gonna get me twice.
They're not
2
getting
days
you
in a row.
twice.
Nah, nah, fuck that.
He said you're not paying the $90 for
Man,
two fights.
I miss Don King, man. Damn, Don King put on the best fights, man.
It won't happen like that ever again.
I don't think so.
Do you
Don't.
feel like Turkey needs to really do a big card to redeem himself from this one?
But what was he? He don't have anybody.
Mm,
He gonna use the same players. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
What big card can he do?
a lot of these stars are not built. They're not like held on to a long contract.
Right, right. He don't have anybody to do a big card with. The guys don't want to fight nobody.
Mm,
You
yeah.
know.
I'm wondering, like, what's the ultimate goal? Like, is it just to waste a whole bunch of money into this industry, or like,
That's all they doing. What is the goal? Shit ain't working. It ain't going like he playing.
mm-hmm,
The same. Now you got to come back a few months later with the same players. You got to be seeing them fight. So ain't you can't put no video, no highlights together to fool us now. That's all highlights. It's bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So
It's
you
not
think
gonna
like
work.
the cars with the Batmobiles and the theme and stuff like that, it's a little much for you.
Yeah, I'm coming to see a fight. If I want to watch cars, I turn on fucking race cars or some shit.
Yo, I hear you. I know. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you on that. Um, but nah, man. I gotta say, wow, that performance with Mia the other day,
Oh yeah, last week,
yo,
man.
I injured my elbow, like my shoulder, like that before, right?
Really?
Yeah, I never would have ever imagined to have my coach go out and pull that joint in the middle of a fight. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like,
I've seen people quit in other sports with that same injury.
bro, yes,
I seen them quit.
exactly. That's me. No,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
that was a freak. That was freaky, man. That was freaky.
Yo, and I'm like, I ain't gonna hold you when I seen that. I'm like, I remember my moment. I'm like, I'm such a
But what's
bitch.
crazy, right? It happened. It came out in the third round, and I looked down on the floor. And I said, "I need a doctor." And they said, "If the doctor step up here, the fight is over."
Oh,
And Mia was like, "No, I don't want no doctor." She said, "No, I want no doctor." So she went back out in the fourth and the fifth, and then going into the sixth round, that's when you know what I mean. So the fourth and the fifth, she had one hand, and half of the third. So I just slipped out in the third.
Has that injury ever happened to her before?
In high school it did.
Also, that's reoccurring.
Yeah. So we got to figure out what can we do so it won't happen again.
I know that must be painful, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that was scary right there. But I go off of what the fighter feel. If they say go, we go.
Yeah,
And she wanted to go.
and she was still throwing it too.
Yeah, because once he snapped it back in place, she was like,
It
"It's
felt
good,
better.
it's good. I feel better." That's when she went back out in the sixth round and got off a combination, and it edged it out.
Yo, I feel like other coaches wouldn't even know what to do in that situation as well. Like I can see coaches freaking out
Yeah, yeah. I've
or
seen like
calling the fight right there and then.
I've seen basketball players, football players. I've seen a wrestler. His shoulder came out before.
That's what happened with me. It happened in basketball. I set a pick, and
Hmm.
someone just a big dude just ran right through me.
Mm.
I popped right out.
Wow.
I stopped playing. So when I see Mia do that and she's fighting, I'm like,
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Thank God we got through it though.
and won the fight. Yeah,
And won the fight. Yep.
that girl definitely she was selling the fight. I'll tell you.
Man, she was funny. She was funny the whole time. She wanted to fight everybody at the press conference. She was like a fucking. You ever see the little Tasmanian devil on Bugs Bunny?
Yep.
That's her going after everybody.
She was saying something like, "Yo, you ain't fighting nobody." It's like
Right, Twinkie.
I'm a whole hamburger.
I'm a whole hamburger. Yep. That shit was funny. That shit was funny.
Yeah, that was cool. That was on Black Prime.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was a good little show there. You guys did a good job there, man.
Yeah,
Shoot.
it was weird though, man. We took that fight because the girl she had a lot of losses, but I'm like, why can't nobody stop this girl? What's the problem? And we get in the ring, and the goal was to stop her. Then Mia's shoulder jump out. So that she still wound up going the fucking distance.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
but that's something you can't control. If Mia's shoulder wouldn't have jumped out, she definitely would have stopped because she was hitting her with too many clean shots.
Hmm.
She definitely would have stopped it, but that's the way the ball bounced.
How do you guys know how to like snap like how do
I
you
had a
guys know
fighter
how to snap
before.
it back?
I had another fighter. His shoulder jumped out, and I snapped it back. Just being around the sports, and my mom's is in the medical field. My aunt, and as a kid, you listen to stuff, and you sneak and read books, and you see shit on TV, and you try it. You know what I mean? You try it.
Yeah, because
Yep.
I figured like you would have to look at it or something and like
Yeah.
know how to do it
Be
like in a
familiar
certain
with
way.
be familiar with what's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was seeing you. You look calm as a father.
Everybody said that. Said, how can you keep your composure under that type of shit? It's just you see so much over the years, you just don't panic.
Yeah, cause they did like a little arrow on the
Yeah,
video, and I'm
yeah.
looking at you, and I'm looking at the
The
bone pop up, and
bone
I'm
sitting
looking
up.
at you, and I'm like, damn, Kenny's like relaxed, like,
Yeah, I'm going off her energy. She said she want to keep going, so let's keep going.